Hello YouTube, and welcome to my first installment of what I'm going to be calling the Resurrection Initiative. Now, a little backstory. The Resurrection Initiative is a project that I've decided to dedicate some time to, and it's a trip down memory lane. We're going to go through and we're going to figure out whether or not these games are good games. They're going to be old games. They're going to be fun games. They'll be games we played, games we knew, games we loved. And I'm basically going to go through and pick them apart and try to figure out, whether or not they were actually as good as we thought they were, or if they were just, nostalgic. And it's hard to compare nostalgia, but that's what we're going to try and do with this episode. My name's Earps. Let's get it started. I thought what would be a better way to start a first episode of a game like this than with the tried and tested method of Call of Duty, right? Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is going to be the game that we're tackling today. That it's up for a remaster, actually. It's in the works. It should be done, if I'm not mistaken, by around April, which is what the word on the street is. But I wanted to see if we could, get through and get to talking about it before it hit the remastered version, hit the shelves, and, we could decide whether or not the game itself is worth building a community of players around beforehand. So that's basically the goal here. The goal is not to trash our games or destroy the things we love or anything like that. The goal here is to try and rebuild some of these communities that have faltered with the test of time. Time has just pushed them past their breaking point, and just people aren't playing them anymore. Modern Warfare 2 is, it's no exception to that rule. Where do we even start with that? So you boot up the game. The game doesn't even load up into its, windowed resolution. It doesn't match the screen. The game's 10 years old. You got to go through and mess with the settings, which, technological hiccup. You can't really fault the game for that, especially considering how much we've advanced in 10 years. Multiplayer, like I had said, it's dead. It is dead. There is probably, if I had to guess at any given time, I'd say 100 people playing Team Deathmatch, and that's it. That's, the game mode it survives the test of time. It's the one Call of Duty mode that everybody seems to love to play. And personally, I've put in, thousands and thousands of hours into just Team Deathmatch. I kind of know the feeling. You get into the game, and you're filled with this overwhelming sense of just nostalgia. The wave of nostalgia just rushes over you, and it's honestly, it's really impressive. It's super fun to hop back in to the into the maps that you've known and loved and grown up with, and just sit there and take it all in for a little bit. And that's super powerful. I got in and I was playing it, and I got into Quarry, and I was like, we're back in the saddle, baby. It's time to go again. Like everything was the same, right? You remembered it all. You remember all the little hiccups and all the little fun little things that you noticed playing the game for extended periods of time. Now, that wave of nostalgia that you feel is quickly diminished, because it's like your inner 12-year-old comes out, right? You're playing Call of Duty, and you get killed, and you're like, all right, it's on. And then you start to kind of get back into it, and you're kind of pushing. The guns, complete nonsense. They're fantastically awful, is the best way that I can describe them. The Scar H is disturbing. The UMP is also disturbing. Your grenades, you have a million grenades. Smoke grenades are everywhere. Stun grenades are everywhere. Frag grenades, Simtex grenades. Not as many throwing knives as you'd think, but that's, an acquired taste. Now, to be fair, the game plays like a drunk spaghetti pasta trying to wrap its arms around, piece of rock or something. It is a disturbingly brutal code that the game is running there. The guns don't have bullet drop. The Spaz 12 can kill you from across the map. In hardcore mode, undermounted shotguns can just literally snipe you to death. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. You walk out, you got quick scopers, you got your marathon lightweight, tack knife guys running around just stabbing everybody, flying across the map and just looking silly as they murder your face. And in doing that, it's broken, right? The game is broken, but you go through and you're like, man, that's just like I remember it. That's just the way that it was, and that's a good thing. I think that the game, for being as brutal as it was, for kill streaks just everywhere at any given time, UAVs constantly popping up, I think it was fun because that's what we were used to. The maps were fantastic. They're open. Some obviously favor snipers, some don't. You can obviously snipe on any map that you want because you can just run around and shoot from the hip or quick scope or literally just spray your gun and kill people, which is the Call of Duty special, if I do say so myself. And that makes the game kind of brutal. You hate being on a kill streak and then just getting mowed down for some guy that just obnoxiously walks around the corner holding the trigger, but it is kind of what it is. As far as maps go, I think that the DLC maps, I don't know a single person that ever bought a DLC map from Infinity Ward. It just is what it is, so I'm not even going to talk about those. Bonus mode, the Spec Ops mode, which was fun all the way to the end of it. It's fun to play with a friend. Solo is fun as well. They're just basically, those little story mode missions. I will say that the mission at the end, there's one mission that you can do with a group, and it doesn't work. I played it 50 or 60 times, and every single time you get to the last part of the mission, and it just instantly ends the game for you. That is something that I think I would like to see fixed. But other than that, the rest of them are really fun to play, and that has my seal of approval to find, a buddy or anybody to go through and give those a shot again. They're definitely worth experiencing. Customization is, pretty basic for what it is. The game itself is not based around character customization, but more so around your player identity. You get your classes, which are really, really in-depth for the most part. They have a bunch of different combinations that I can't even begin to get into. A bunch of awesome nonsense. Then they have the title structure. This is something that I was very adamant about when I was playing the game, because I thought this gave you a fantastic sense of identity, and it's the best one I think that they've ever done. You had to complete challenges. Some of them were really, really difficult to get the titles and the emblems that you wanted. A lot of them were prestige challenges to get the ones that were worth a damn. And they were just fun titles to get, and they really showed your prowess as a character. Server quality is fine. They've always had decent servers. There's going to be no serious lag. Hacking is not an issue anymore. It never was. Modern Warfare 2 and Call of Duty World at War always had awful hacking problems towards the end of their lifespans. And I think that basically captures the game itself, right? The game, I think, has a very strong feeling of just familiarity, because it nothing's really changed. It's broken, it's beaten, it's you got people flying across the map, like I said earlier, and it's a fun game. It's fun because it's broken, and I think that there's something to be said about that. What worries me is that whenever they go through and do the remaster, I wonder how much they're actually going to change for the game itself. And I wonder if that makes the game completely different. It'll be interesting to see, because, One Man Army Pro, Danger Close, Cross-Map Noob Tube is the most unbalanced thing in the world, yet it's just a staple of the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 era. For the nostalgia effect, I would give it probably I would say it's an 8 out of 10. It's very, very, very fun to go back and look at it. The gameplay, quality-wise, I would say a 6 out of 10. I mean, it's fun, but it's really shitty to, get blown up by about 6 different Harriers and have somebody jump across the map and murder you, or throw a throwing knife across the map and get destroyed, or any of the other countless levels of bullshit that could kill you in Modern Warfare 2, because you die very, very quickly. And my recommendation for repopulation, I would say, yeah, I think that this is a good game for people to get back into, especially if it's not for long, even if it's only for a month until we get the new copy of it. I think it would be fun. I think 500 people getting in there, repopulating the servers, playing all these other game modes that were fantastic, like Demolition, or a lot of people don't like Headquarters, but I always thought Headquarters was fun, or Search and Destroy, or anything like that. I think that would be a good idea, and I think that it would be a great way for people to kind of get back on track with the way these kinds of games were going. My overall rating for this game at Modern Warfare 2, I give it a 7 out of 10. I think that's pretty fair. It was a good game. It was a fun game. We all put countless hours into it, and this is a lot of people made friends in this game. We built friendships in real life. We met our friends at school were like, hey, let's go play the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. And we were all like, yeah, and then it was just a competition, right? We all had a good time with it. And then when we didn't have a good time, it was, he died 50 or 60 times. So it is what it is. Yeah, all in all, I would definitely recommend it, even if it's only for a month. I think it could be fun, and I think that it, would be pretty enjoyable for the most part. Especially if you get some friends of yours and jump in, you mess with the clan tags or anything like that. Just a little throwback. So the nostalgia trip might be worth the shot here. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I know that my, video is a little sporadic, but we're kind of going through, and I'm trying to figure out the best way that I'd go about do this. I'm open to suggestions in the comments section. If you guys would like to see more, or have any ideas about games that you'd like to see me cover and talk about, feel free to let me know. I really would like to kind of stay on the more community-based side for these games, because at the end of the day, this Resurrection Initiative is not just one about repopulating servers. No, I want to create a community of gamers that want to go through and can find like-minded people to go play these older games and just really enjoy them. I think the next episode I'm just going to be doing would be Halo 3 or Left 4 Dead, or just really any game that was a staple of our childhood. I might even do Halo 1, since that's just a classic shooter. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Go ahead, and if you wouldn't mind, hit that like button, or don't. It is what it is. But just know that there will be more quality content coming out, and we will have another episode probably in another, week or so. And if there's any ideas, anything you guys think I could do better, or just want to talk about, feel free to let me know. Thank you very much. It's Herbst signing off.